Took a minute or two, but we're so excited to join all of you today. I want to start with just welcoming everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And we have Reverend Dr. Peggy Hostetler, who's going to be our guest today. We're very excited to share with you. Today is Transcendent Purpose, Elevation of Awareness. We are at the end of our year. Aren't we excited about this? And so let's go ahead and just start with our signature song. I'm so happy to know that we have our own song now. We're going to share it with you right now. Here we go.
Joyous sacred celebration. We give thanks for all we are. Every soul has come so far. Love in action, service true. The divine spirit that is you. We're awakening, can't you see? Living love and living free. One love, one life, one spirit divine. One heart, one life. Your journey and mine. Where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah. Welcome to this sacred space where we honor every face. The splendor of the God in you, shining through in all you do. Learning, growing hand in hand. Together we will understand. Prosperous, giving, heart set free. One love is our destiny. One love, one life, one spirit divine. One heart, one life. Your journey and mine. Where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. One love, where love grows all around. One love, where love grows all around. Welcome home to one love. Yeah. Welcome home to one love. Where love grows. Where love grows. Where love grows.
Welcome to a place. I'm so excited to share with you our mission. Okay, so welcome to One Love Center. We're so excited to have you here with us. Our mission is to provide a stable and welcoming community for all those who choose to learn, to practice, to grow, and to play in the unfolding of their understanding of spiritual principles and spiritual living. And we envision a world as a sacred moment where spiritual living flourishes through original growth and development of learning and the application of the spirit of spiritual principles. One Love Center practices compassion and service, love and action, and joyous, prosperous giving in the community. And our community has been lovingly created as a place of fellowship, meditation, prayer, sacred and healing service, musical celebration, classes, workshops, and spiritual films. Welcome to all our guests, whether you're here live or whether you're here after on the recording. We welcome you. We recognize the splendor of the divine spirit that is you. Please know that we support you in being the best you choose to be in your glorious life. Thank you for celebrating spirit with us today. Welcome to a place where love grows. And so I want to introduce to you our guest, as I mentioned earlier, Reverend Dr. Peggy Hostetler. Thank you so much for being with us today. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
It's such a privilege to be with you today. As the year comes to a close, isn't it fun to think about what we've accomplished this year and what we have to look forward to next year? So I'd like to do an opening evocation, if everyone's open for that. Absolutely. So I just invite us to turn within. And I know we all live busy lives, and so I invite us to let go of what has taken place this week and this morning, right up to this moment, and to allow ourselves to be fully present here. I do give thanks for each and every person who is online or who will be hearing this recording later. I give thanks for Rev Rodney and Leda Pérez, knowing that as we come together this morning, Spirit is moving through what is unfolding for us, that we are lifted and blessed by our being together and growing together. I give thanks for each and every one and the consciousness that each brings as they participate or as they observe, because we are all one. For this I do give thanks, and so it is.
And so it is. So what you've just heard is affirmative prayer. And I want to let you know that One Love has prayer professionals ready, willing, and able to remind you that Spirit is full of power, charged, and already within you for your immediate use. And so we want to invite you that if you are looking for prayer, if you're looking for some support, you can send it to One Love Center at onelovecenter.org, or you can leave a voicemail at 646-685-3344. We also have the spiritual living, the Centers for Spiritual Living World Ministry, and you can email them at oneprayer@csl.org, or you can call them at 424-235-4326. And please know that all prayers are kept in the strictest of confidence. Reach out to us. We're here to pray for you. We'll pray for 7 days for you. So, and we would love to hear back from you. Once you've had those prayers, call us back or contact us and let us know how you are doing. Okay. So we're here to talk today. Our focus is all about, the closing, the shedding of the skin. All month has been about shedding and ending and renewing. And so today we really want to talk about, I think we don't have our slides available. So let me put those up. There you go. So it's release, refresh, and renew. And one of the things we wanted to talk about was, excuse me, what if? Excuse me. Pardon me. So Reverend Rodney put together, he loves acronyms. And what if he made an acronym out of this? Whole, harmonious, absolute, trust, and awaken through deep spiritual current of if infinite flow. So together they open a doorway to the highest possibility of faithful surrender and acceptance in your life. So what if? What are the what ifs in your life? Okay. And he also wanted to share about revealing a word, kenosis. And its origin is Greek. It's from the Christian mystical theology. It's a spiritual view. Kenosis means self-emptying. It is a sacred act of releasing what no longer serves, old identities, habits, beliefs, and fears, in order to make room for the divine life to flow in you. Kenosis is not a loss, okay? It's not a loss, but a preparation. And it's not a weakness, but trust. By emptying ourselves of the past, we become available to renewal, freedom and wholeness. Reverend Peggy, would you like to talk on that?
Okay, well, you know, as we come to the next stage of our spiritual evolution, there's always a need to let go of what was in order to make room for the new. If we hang on to how we thought we were as the only way to be, there's no room for us to grow into the next yet to be, which is always better and always more of who we truly are. We're never losing ourselves when we let go. We're always shedding the skin of something that no longer fits us anymore, so that that new thing can come and can emerge, and we can live an even more meaningful, powerful, blessed life.
Yes, absolutely. And it is that uncertainty of letting go and just not knowing for us, for so many, is that fear of that letting go, isn't it?
Right.
Let's go ahead and start with our first quote here. And Reverend Peggy, can you read that?
Sure. You are an inlet, and this is Ralph Waldo Emerson, is quoted by Eric Butterworth. You are an inlet and may become an outlet to all there is in God. All there is, not just good enough, not just making do, but all there is. Let your allness be revealed. Release your inner beauty. Unleash your imprisoned splendor.
What does that mean?
You know, at the spiritual level, all of us are perfect. That imprisoned splendor is at the center of everyone's being. And the logic, if we were to build on that, is God is everywhere present. The Spirit has created and sustains everything, and it must be what we are at the very center of our being. We may have allowed some things to overlay that, and that's what we choose to let go of as we release, so that imprisoned splendor can come forth, and we do it in stages. It doesn't usually happen all at once. The reflective question at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice, says, what imprisoned splendor within you is waiting to be unleashed? What fears or beliefs have kept this inner beauty locked away? It's interesting to be introspective about that and think, what is there that I don't think that I can do, but I have a calling to do it? It may be something really simple. There was a long period of time that I could grow plants. If I took a cutting off of a bush or a plant, I could either stick it in water or put it in some soil and use a misting table and grow a new plant. But I didn't seem to think I could grow things well from seed. And last year I thought, well, this is ridiculous. Certainly I can grow things from seed, but I had to get the right equipment, the right lighting to do it inside, so that I could grow things for the winter this year that I started in the heat of the summer, so I couldn't start them outside. So the thing that was wanting to happen through me, I had to let go of the idea that I wasn't able to grow things from seed.
Right.
And that may be a simple, silly example, but now I have beautiful pansies and petunias in my yard because I took that leap and thought, well, this is something that I really want to accomplish. And I have to let go of the idea that I'm not successful in growing seeds.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a silly example, but maybe if each of us look within ourselves, we may think that there's something that we can't do or something that is calling to us that seems to be out of reach. And as we put our attention on allowing Spirit to have its way with us, we're led to do the right thing so that which seemed to be elusive now becomes available.
Absolutely. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. You know, I look back about some of the, when you said calling, that you have this calling, this need to do something. And that is Spirit telling you that you are worthy of that you are capable of that. And taking that leap, as you said, you know, to finally say, well, you know, I'm going to try it. And it's in the trying that you find out what you really are able to do. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. We have another quote here we can come to. I'll read this one. It is the great negations of life that we have to surrender, the doubts and fears of uncertainties, the coldness and unkindness the lack of love. And that's by Ernest Holm, Living the Science of Mind, on page 425. What does that bring up for you, Dr. Peggy?
The great negations of life. It could be old fears that we didn't think that we could do. It could be doubts that spirit is really there for us. Mm-hmm. It is our perspective on life, perhaps, that's holding us back. And especially as we come into this teaching and we're encouraged to think that we live in a friendly universe and God's on our side, that we need to let go of the fears and doubts and uncertainties and move into that place of awareness where we know that, like the words of Jesus, all that the Father hath is thine. Mm. And so the reflecting question is a good one. How does surrendering these negations differ from simply suppressing or denying them? If we were just suppressing or denying them, they'd still be under the surface, wouldn't they? Mm-hmm. What spiritual practice helps us truly release rather than resist? This time of year, there's this the burning bowl ceremony where you write down your doubts and fears, the things you want to let go of from this last year to clear the way for new intentions for 2026 this year. That's and right. So to actually physically write them down and then burn them in the file or throw them in a shredder or something else that has a significance, that as a symbol, you are really letting them go. Because they're not of the truth.
Correct. You know, and in affirmative prayer, I found it odd when I first started learning about these teachings that in affirmative prayer, you were speaking of the things that you were not. And I didn't understand that if it's affirmative, why would you even bring that up if it's supposed to be affirmative? But what you're doing is recognizing something that is not you and knowing that you can cast that out, you can release and let go, but you have to acknowledge it first. Can you talk a little bit about, why the affirmative prayer has some negations in it?
Well, that's the argumentative version of an affirmative prayer, where if you were an attorney in front of the jury and you really wanted to explain something to them, there would be an argument there. And so we do that with ourselves, within ourselves, and perhaps we've been studying the truth and we want to align with love and we want to align with power or peace or joy, the things that seem to be opposite of those things. If, for example, power was something that we really needed to feel. We needed to feel empowered to do something new in our lives. Right. If we had been feeling disempowered, if we had been feeling weak, or that's not for us to do because, I'm not good enough, or I've never been able to do that before, we need to actually convince ourselves that there's no truth in those old ways of thinking. And we can do that in the spiritual mind treatment. We might do it just in conversation with ourselves before we even do the treatment. And then we'll come to the point where we actually let go of those ideas and we can do a totally affirmative prayer. And that's called a realization version of prayer, where we simply speak the positive words. But if those old vestiges of ideas are still in us, to have a little argument within ourselves about how they are not true is very helpful to get us to a place where we can claim the truth without any resistance.
Mm-hmm. Recognizing that it is there, but it's not real. It's not your truth. Yes.
Right. We've been carrying it along and it's baggage at this point. Mm-hmm. And it might have even served us in the past. A snake doesn't remove its skin because it's bad. It removes it because it doesn't fit anymore. Right. And so for us to see that those old ways of thinking, they don't fit us anymore as we grow spiritually, as we learn about how God is love and that God is only a loving God. There's the law of cause and effect, and we do bring into our experience things because of the way the law of cause and effect works. But we can count on spirit, infinite spirit, being only good, only loving, only empowering. And as we own that, and we say that in our prayers, we have the opportunity to transcend our old way of thinking, and we really need to discard it And
Yeah.
that's like putting on that new skin and letting the old skin go. You
Mhm.
know, with our physical skin, we're removing cells of our skin every day, all the time.
Right.
We don't do it like a snake once in a while. And so, of course, our skin can grow with us as we've grown up from a small child or a baby, because we're sloughing off skin in the millions of cells a day. It's an interesting fact, and I don't know whether you've talked about that at all this month in any of the discussions that you've had already, but this idea that a lot of the dust in our homes are skin cells we've thrown out.
Well, there's a lot of things collecting in our home that we have to get rid of too for
Yeah.
this year. So we have another quote, if you wouldn't mind reading that one.
Okay. Acceptance is the strangest and strongest kind of power. Surrender is not giving up, as we often think. It's giving to the moment, the event, the person, the situation, and to God. So this is talking about the difference between giving up and giving to. And from a New Thought perspective, this is a very interesting thing. You know, when you give up, you actually are saying the situation's hopeless and there's nothing I can do about it. When we're giving to, we're accepting things as they are, but also knowing that they don't have to remain that way. So as we're giving to the moment, we end up actually getting our small, fearful self out of the way and allowing spirit to move through us, and the law of mind to bring the greater good into our experience. And so I guess I've answered the reflective question a little bit. What's the difference between giving up and giving to the moment? And here's a question for us all. How does this distinction change your relationship with challenging situations? So if we're giving up, we're just throwing up our hands and
Letting go of it in a different way. We're not
feeling disempowered in that moment. When we're giving to a challenging situation, we're accepting things the way they are. We're not trying to change the situation in something that we can't have control over in any way. But we're also in the same moment, because we've accepted what is, now looking to spirit, looking within for guidance as to what is ours to do. And that's a very different thing, isn't it? It is empowering rather than disempowering.
Very good. Thank you for that. That gave me some clarity as well. Thank you so much. And for those of you who are watching and ask yourself these questions, you know, I think that they will really make an opportunity for you to really reflect on where you are in giving up and surrendering. And I'm going to see if Reverend Rodney can maybe come on and see if he has sound. So we're going to try this and see what happens. Reverend Rodney, can you hear us?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. You finally figured it out, and I'm so glad to have you here.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I was actually really enjoying the conversation. So, I mean, I could have just stayed in the background and just be fed like everybody else.
Would you like to add to that last quote that we had? I'll put it up.
Which one was that? Was that
the acceptance is the strangest and strongest kind of power. Surrender is not giving up. Can you see that one? Acceptance is the strangest and strongest kind of power. Surrender is not giving up. Often we think it is giving to the moment, the event. You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks. Yeah, I actually had put into one of the comments about you know, when things seem to get old, you know, old thinking, old believing, and it's like, well, when does old become old?
Yes.
Like, how long do I have to sit with something before I realize that, you know what, I need to surrender or even give up, either one.
Right.
You know, surrender is, I definitely find in the moment more powerful. Giving up really is a sense of futility, and desperation and thinking that I've done all that I can do, I might as well give up. You know, usually what I find when I have found myself in that situation, there's still a vestige of hope. You know, because it's like when, oh, my back is up against the wall. Sometimes it seems like giving up, but there's still another sliver of possibility. And in that moment, in giving up in that moment, like we might wait for the last moment, but giving up in that moment still allows for the possibility of something better to happen. Giving up is turning my back and just like totally walking away. And to me, that's not even surrender. You know, during wars, which is just mind-boggling to me, that they have this formal surrender. And they all get dressed up and they all, both sides come and they sit down at the table and they shake hands, they have a good time in this formal surrender, and then they work out terms of surrender. I'm like, wow, that is just, to me, it's just mind-boggling. So that's not giving up. They're not giving up anything. They're giving to the moment of, hey, how is this? And I think to myself, how is this going to best serve me in this moment?
Right.
Not totally surrendering all hope. No.
Right.
It's surrendering to love and surrendering to a greater possibility rather than woe is me possibility.
Right. Right. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. We do have another quote. If you would like to read that, Reverend Rodney.
Yeah, sure, I would, and I will. It says, there is an instinct for newness, for renewal, for a liberation of creative power. We seek to awaken in ourselves a force which changes our lives from within. And yet, the same instinct tells us that this change is a recovery of that which is deepest, most original, most personal in ourselves. To be born again is not to become somebody else, but to become ourselves. Thomas Merton. And I love this. I love this because, again, it's more about in definitely in the moment, but instinct is such a powerful expression of who we are as living beings. All of us living beings have some measure of instinct. And some, I mean, of course, there are animals that, furry, winged, and, they most like we, at least humans, believe that they are only on instinct. And I could question that. And a lot of times we question our own instinct. However, I really fully feel and believe that instinct always points within. Always, it's like, trust the force, Luke. It's
right. That's right.
And being born again, oh, I love that, because I mean, I'm not sure about how Christians feel about it. When I was going to church, Christian church and everything, born again, sounded like I was not going to be anything that I recognized about myself. And in truth, our true self, our Christ nature is ourselves. Being true to ourselves. So thank you for letting me share about that.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Reverend Dr. Peggy, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I certainly agree with Reverend Rodney about this. And of course, we would call it perhaps intuition rather than instinct in us as human beings. But it's that divine urge in us, isn't it? This instinct for newness, for renewal, for liberation of creative power. That's that divine urge in us, ever inviting us forward to become more of who we are as a divine spiritual being. And that does mean that we've got to let go of those lesser ideas of who we are and how we have interacted in the world, and rise into something that's more and more in alignment with the truth of being, which would be those qualities of the divine, of love and peace and joy and wholeness and beauty and creative activity, all whatever quality of God we can think of. And as we're born again into that, we'll become ever more who we truly are as God in expression. What a great promise.
It is a great promise. Let's go ahead to the next quote. You want to go ahead and read that one, Rodney? Since you hadn't been around for a while, we'll let you do that again.
All right. Playing catch up here. Okay.
Yes.
So I believe it says when the end is clear, then the middle, which is the path from here to there, becomes clear. When the destination is set in the GPS, then the path illuminates on the screen before us. However, if it is not clear where we're going, then the path from here to there is murky, varied, and wildly different from person to person, by Reverend David Alexander, Freedom from Discord, page 8. And, well, listen, GPS, one of the acronyms that I use for it and others have, is God Positioning System. And I like that because, yeah, it's set. And well, I find that when it's not clear, it's my, like if I'm driving, it's my windshield, or maybe on my phone. It's like it's not clear because maybe I got too much stuff on my phone and I can't see what I'm supposed to be looking at. However, more than likely, what am I looking with? What's clear, what's murky is my vision. It's like the screen it's my, like everything that we see is of what's going on in our mind, and if I'm looking at something and it's murky, well, then there's some muddiness going on in my brain, in my vision. So whatever I look on the outside, it's only reflecting, the clouded vision on the inside. And I think very much like a snake, it's got to shed the skin. I'm sure it probably would have difficulty moving around or doing anything or living life freely if it doesn't get rid of that skin. And it's the same with our vision. So anyway, anybody else want to comment on that?
I have to say, yesterday I was coming from Orlando. I was there for the holidays, and I put the GPS on because I always put the GPS, even though I know the way, just to make sure what the travel is going to be like. And it said 3 hours. And I thought, this is an hour and a half. It's doubling up my time. So I got to a certain exit and it says, if you take this exit, you'll be there in an hour. And I was like, I'm on that exit. Okay. I take this exit, but what I didn't know is that I still added that other one was still there in the background. So when I was going home, I knew where it was taking me. I knew the road, and I was like, oh, now I'm like 5 minutes from there. But the GPS wanted to take me to a whole other route, to go around something, go down the opposite direction of where I'm going. And I thought, how odd is that? I know it's this way. I'm going to follow that. And my instinct told me, this is the way. I don't know why it's leading me that way, but it looks clear and I'm going to keep going this way. So my instinct told me differently, to follow what I feel is right. Sometimes you have to listen to yourself, that you may be directed somewhere else, but listen to yourself. You don't need to go down Silver Springs for some reason. And it took me all the way around, that when I finally got to the house, GPS said, now turn around, make a U-turn. I'm home. So isn't it interesting? I say that to say this, that sometimes you follow what your instinct is telling you to do, and your instinct usually can be right.
Yeah, this is a test. This was only a test.
Right. This is a test. So We have another quote, Reverend Dr. Peggy. Can you read that one?
When we hold back our best efforts because of what happened in the past, we are letting the past decide the future.
Woo.
And we could build on Leda's experience. She knew how to get home. And that was greater wisdom than what her electronic device was telling her. And so you didn't let the past, if you didn't know the way home, you
Right.
might have let that GPS drive you in all kinds of circles to get home, and you would have been home much later. But you had the wisdom within yourself and didn't allow that to decide your future. So that's an interesting metaphor of that. This idea, too, that we're transcending into new ways of being. And as we trust those new things, we are inviting the future to be really different from the past. But there may be some baggage that we carry that's fear-based. And we might waver for a while before we get a clear direction within ourselves from that divine download of information. And so for us to not hold back our best efforts, but trust the wisdom and love of the infinite to direct us on our path, and to trust divine guidance. I think that's what we're talking about here, trusting divine guidance rather than the old opinions of the world or whatever that might be.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And we also have to remember, what they say, that the past is not a predictor of our future, or the present for that matter. And so two things come up for me. One is more a belief in fear, because I know there are things that happened in my life, in my past, and it was fearful. It was like I was seeing monsters, It was like, I want to avoid anything that looks like that might be a monster, including family. And it was, I found later that it was my perception of things that was holding me back, was not letting me, live my life to the fullest, to avoid dude in my past. And so it was like it's a process. And again, it's back to release and let go of the fear that had been running my life for so many years. And it was deciding my future, that kind of fear. There was something else I wanted to mention. However, I'll let that go. And so anybody else want to comment on that?
I've had so many things in my past that I held on to because I thought that is who I was, that I couldn't change from that because of the experiences of the past. And in finding this practice and this faith that, my faith with Science of Mind, I realized that in holding on to that, I was never able, that's all I've ever experienced is all this negative experiences in my life because I was holding on to who I thought I was and who I thought I was unworthy, and it wasn't until I started learning this this practice that I realized that, gosh, I've been doing it to myself this whole time. This whole time I've been working myself up for something that really isn't who I want to be, even to grow out of that. And it wasn't until I started really learning about this that I let go, and I realized what that experience was for me at the time, but no longer about me and who I was any longer. It was a really an awakening for me. And I am sure there are people out there who are experiencing the same things, that they're holding on to what they believe their past is. And we're here to tell you that, prayer professionals are here for you and showing you that you too can renew your life as well. So I thought I'd share that.
And we might not even think of them as living from the past, but they have become habitual and it's normal for us. They really are because of past programming and expectations, but we might not even realize that we're living from the past. And as we take a look at it, and as you said, perspective shift, then we can see them for what they are and know that the higher good and the greater yet to be is ours. If we claim it and have the courage to take that step toward it. And yes, prayer practitioners can help us get there because they can know that truth about us before we know it for ourselves. And we can get the results of that in our lives before we ourselves have the consciousness for it. We do want to follow that up with classes and get that ourselves, but we don't have to wait till it makes total clear sense for us before our lives can be benefited by those who are perhaps further along the path spiritually and recognize the truth of who we really are as empowered beings. So One Love Center offers much for people wherever they are in the world to live their best life and open to life keeping getting better.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you so much. Reverend Rodney, did you want to add to that?
Thanks. So and I really appreciate it too. Classes are really important. We can only do so much on Sunday. And if you don't get classes with us, Centers for Spiritual Living offers classes and different centers offer classes. So, just take advantage of the opportunity to take classes. And another thing is, they're not cure all. However, they open the door. And it's so important to make the realization that, maybe I could benefit from a class. And that lets you know that you need a class.
Right.
But I wanted to get to the last quote. However, I also wanted to say is somebody had said something to me, one of my mentors. I was letting him know about something I was going through. He said, "So how's that working for you?"
Yeah, right.
Because Reverend Peggy had mentioned, when we, we want to make change in our lives. However, we need to make room. And if we're living from the past and don't even realize it, we need to stop and take a look. Like, okay, what's going on? Am I truly liking or loving where I'm at right now, or is it the same? It seems repetitive. Things aren't working out. Is this all there is?
Right.
At that moment, we don't necessarily need to try to change anything in that moment. We can surrender. Might just mean stop.
Yes.
Just stop for a moment. And then we can realize, like, okay, what's not working now? And don't try to, do the whole field at once. You can't, make a harvest all at once. You have to harvest one at a time and just start with one thing that might seem negative. And with that, we can move into the next quote.
That's it. Yes. So this is the next. It was really all about asking a few questions from Eckhart Tolle. Who would like to take that on?
Sure, I'd love to do that.
All right.
How can we drop negativity, as you suggest? By dropping it. How do you drop a piece of hot coal that you're holding in your hand? And then the Eckhart Tolle quote, how do you drop some heavy and useless baggage that you are carrying? His answer, by recognizing that you don't want to suffer the pain or carry the burden anymore, and then letting go of it. Sounds really simple, doesn't it?
It does sound simple, yes.
It's one of those things that might be simple in concept, but that doesn't mean it's easy. And so for us to actually see the metaphor of the hot coal in our hand as something that, of course, we would drop it quickly if we were holding something hot. And maybe seeing that negative thing in our life as a hot coal. And make that shift in thinking, well, if I can drop a hot coal in my hand, I can drop this.
Yes. Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Rodney.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Reverend Peggy, because I want to say that how long is it going to take for someone, for you, anyone watching, listening, sharing this? Maybe you know somebody who's holding on to a hot rock longer than they need to. Yes, we're supposed to drop it. However, how many, let's get it. Can we get a witness here? Is there a testimony to how long have you held on to something that you know you needed to let go? And even, smelling the burning flesh, it's like, wow, my butt's on fire, maybe I should get up and move,
Right.
So yeah, it's not a quick fix. However, we can begin by dropping that which is causing us pain. We may not know why we're holding on to it. We may not know anything about that. However, we can just drop it. Now, there's always the possibility of picking it back up. But how are you going to know unless you drop it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Right.
here we need to remember that we do have choice.
Yeah.
Quite often, those things that we've been hanging on to for a long time, they have become habitual. Perhaps they become normal for us.
Right.
And we don't even realize that we do have a choice to drop it. Because something about our ego might like the status quo. It's a safe thing. We don't know what will happen if we do let it go. We know what it's like right now, and we can live with that a little longer. And perhaps that's why we hang on to things too long, is that it's familiar. And so we stay with it. And for us to take a step back and think, well, maybe it does not have to be this way. Maybe I do have choice in this moment. And like you say, start with the small things. Maybe we don't start with the biggest thing, but to prove to ourselves that we can let things go and that life gets better when we do, because life rushes in to replace it with something that's more to our liking. Sorry, my phone is ringing. I don't know how to mute. You can mute me for a minute if you want to, Leda.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's go ahead. We're going to start with our affirmations now. We've come to the portion of our service for affirmations. And I can start. Reverend Rodney can be second, and Reverend Peggy, you finish at the end. Okay. So let's take a deep breath. Let's sit back and just take it all in for a moment. Inhale and exhale. It is so that I trust the infinite flow enough to let go and become new. Let's say that one more time. Take a breath in. It is so that I trust the infinite flow enough to let go and become new.
I invite each one to take a breath and give it and repeat. It is so that my mind is renewed by truth and my life is transformed in freedom, health, and harmony. Let's take a breath, slowly, and release. It is so that my mind is renewed by truth and my life is transformed in freedom, health, and harmony.
Reverend Peggy.
You've unmuted me. Thank you. Let's do this one together. It is so that I release, I refresh, and I am totally renewed. And let's do it one more time. It is so that I release, I refresh, and I am totally renewed.
It is so, and so it is, and now it is.
And now it is.
No, even now. All right.
So at this time, I'm going to do a grounding prayer treatment. And I just want to thank my co-conspirators, conversationalists, in revealing the greater prevalent truth that happens as we end this month of shedding our skin, shedding our baggage, revealing our newer lives. And so please join me and feel free to join me, and you can close your eyes as long as it's safe, and to just breathe with me in this moment of grounding these words into our soul, into our mind and our hearts and our soul. And so I know, yes, there is only one life, and that one life made by the creator of all things has its life intrinsically imbued in all of its creations. So, yes, indeed, the creator has a master plan that is playing out through each and every one's life. And so I am knowing that, yes, indeed, there is a renewal that is happening with each breath, that as each and every one of us on some level gets to shed our skin, that each one gets to shed the skin that has carried them to where they are right now. And at any point in the journey, in the destination, skin may be shed several times. And each one may find that they've accumulated more baggage than they can realistically handle. And how many people are lugging baggage and more and devising and developing ways to carry more baggage, to only cover up who they are and their purpose for being, to slow them down when they need to be speeding up or moving at a satisfactory pace. So I am knowing that there has been revealed in this conversation and the ensuing conversations that each one may have with their own self, or in conversations with others who have watched this, and begin to question just what is a negative thought that is holding me back, just what is baggage that is slowing me down and getting in the way of moving comfortably on my journey. And although it may not be comfortable to shed skin, may not be comfortable to drop the hot rock, I know, and I know from experience, and that each one on some level has their own experience that says, drop it like it's hot. Let it go. Let it be. I surrender in the moment to the greater now to be. And so I'm knowing this shows up in all of our affairs. It shows up in health and well-being. It shows up as being surrendering in the moment to not having extra sugar, to not having, to not sleeping with the devices on that might influence our fertile minds when there's nobody watching the gate when we're asleep. Well, I know that health and well-being is vitally important. And as we shed all that is no longer serving, yes, allowing it to fall away, allowing it to be removed, makes for a greater sense of well-being in a moment. And so I am also knowing that shedding the skin also serves in relationships, reminding us, maybe even for the first time, that the only true relationship is the relationship the Creator has with its own self as each and every one in existence. And everything else must go. The masks must go. The doubt, the fear, the belief in limitations as normal must be released, must be shedded. And I know this is true in all aspects of life. And so I speak this word knowing that, yes, everyone is indeed open and receptive to releasing one by one the negative things that might even seem to be controlling life. Let it go and let be vulnerable and open, as it said in the affirmation, to trust and know that there is a transformation into freedom happening, free from the old skin, free from the old lies, free from the old behavior, free from the old doubt, free from an old way of thinking and believing as though that was the only way. And so I know for each one, divine choice is ever available, always available in every now moment. And I speak this word into the law of divine right action that knows what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and does it well. And because that is the truth, I release this word knowing it is good with joy and anticipation of the greater good now to be for each and every one. And in that release, I'll just let it be and affirm that it is so good, that it is so. And please join me in affirming that by saying, and so it is, and now it is. Yes.
Yes, now it is. And so, what you've just heard, again, we'd like to remind you that One Love Center does have prayer professionals ready, willing, and able to remind you that Spirit is full of power, charging already within you for your immediate use. Call us. Let us know. You can call us at 646-685-3344. You can also contact Centers for Spiritual Living World Ministry. Email is oneprayer@csl.org, or you can call by telephone 424-235-4326. And now I'll leave it to Reverend Rodney to talk about our abundance.
Well, I want to thank everybody. And something I didn't get to mention earlier because I wasn't with us all earlier. Tomorrow is One Love Center's anniversary date, starting from December 29th, 2011. So tomorrow's our anniversary, and we thank everyone who has participated in our longevity. We give thanks for all those who have given their time. We visioned for the better part of a year. We met at individual homes. So there was a lot of different ways of giving to what we are now. And I want to thank everyone and for monetary to financial gifts as well. And so we thank you. We're so grateful. And we had done a Giving Tuesday, and just because Giving Tuesday is over, any time of day, any day of the week is good to give, and we openly receive it. And we have our affirmation of abundance that we use to help with our mindset. Doesn't matter, prosperity mindset, is always something that it's great to maintain and improve, if you find it necessary. So we use the affirmation to at least maintain that feeling of prosperity, of givingness and receivingness. And so I know Ellen loves to say, put your hand over your heart. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. Because I get to feel the aliveness. I get to feel that heartbeat, and usually when you give a gift, you feel a little bit more excitement and you're receiving. Because as we give, we receive. There's a natural flow to life. There's a natural flow. And everything we do is following the breath. You breathe in, you breathe out. There's a flow, circulation. And such is the same as with the finances. There's a wonderful book that says money is God in action. So, let's activate God in a form of money. So let's do the affirmation of abundance. It says, money as one of the many gifts of spirit is good. And I know that I am, as I share my offerings, I know that I am actively receiving more gift, more money, and more good. And I am grateful for the ability to give and the good works these gifts do in our center and in our world. And now it is. Peace and blessings, beloved. I believe Leda's going to come on with some announcements.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for that. Yes, we do have, first of all,
And Leda's muted.
Oh, I'm unmuted.
All right. Well, I'll see what I can do. All right. Oh, so first up, we have an offering that for those of you who watch and maybe this is your first time, and if you've ever seen Science of Mind magazine, or maybe you've received it at one point, for people who become members, you can get a free subscription for 6 months of Science of Mind magazine. So that's a great reason to sign up with One Love Center as a member. Go to our website and let us know your intention. Hey, I'd like to join One Love Center. And in doing so, Centers for Spiritual Living will offer you a free 6 months of Science of Mind magazine. So please take advantage of that. Next is the People of African Descent in New Thought is having a third conference. So every 2 years. So this coming 2026, it's called Claiming Our Sacred Power. Claiming Our Sacred Power. And it's taking place at Unity Village, August 13th to the 16th. And so it's called Celebrating Our Soul Conference. And the theme is Claiming Our Sacred Power. We have a wonderful guest list of presenters. We have Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith. We have Dr. Brother Ishmael Tete from Ghana, and a lot of people from different New Thought communities, Independent, Unity, Universal Foundation for Better Living, and as I mentioned, independent centers. And so now this is brought to you by People of African Descent New Thought Group. And just so you know, everyone is welcome. Everyone. So next is the, what's next? What's next is, what's next is Return to Radiant Flow. Our other dynamic practitioner, Ellen Suazo, is offering a soul gateway to release scarcity, reconnect with nature, and rise into overflow. It's in March, I'm not sure, 5th to the 6th, I believe, in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And so you can check it out. You'll have a great time. It's destinationretreat.4consciousliving.com, just the way it sounds, number 4. So those are the announcements. There's another very important announcement. At any and all times, we could certainly use some assistance in managing the broadcast. So please feel free to reach out to us if you'd like to help provide some technical support. And you can do so at our phone number, 646-685-3344, or email us at onelovecenter.org. And so that would help us out a lot. And that's it for the announcements. So at this point, we're going to any final words before we go into a joined benediction, closing prayer. And this is our last prayer for the year,
Yeah.
at One Love 2025. So I'll start it off and I'll finish it with sandwiching Dr. Peggy and Leda.
Can you
So
hear
just
me?
join me as we, oh, wait,
Can you hear me?
any remarks? Yeah, got it. Okay.
I just want to thank you for
Well, we
allowing.
can't hear you, Leda.
I hear her just fine.
Oh, well, I don't know why I can't. But anyway, if you can hear her, go ahead, Leda. See,
No?
go ahead.
All right. So let's just thank you so much all for being here. And we're just going to go ahead and start our prayer. And I just, are we doing a prayer? All three of us? Yes? Okay. There is one infinite life, one loving presence flowing in and through all that is. It is the same life that renews the earth, that moves the seasons, that knows exactly when it's time to release and when it's time to become. In this moment, we trust the process of becoming. We release what no longer serves us at our highest and best good. And like a serpent, we are shedding its skin. We let go because life is calling us forward. And I move to Reverend Peggy.
Mhm. I give thanks in this moment for the opportunity to be here, to be reminded myself of this wonderful gift that we have available to us at all times, and that is to let go of what no longer serves us, for us to become objective in our own lives, perhaps, and look within and see what that divine urge is telling us, opening to that which we choose to let go of and letting it go, and letting it be easy to let go, knowing that which is on the other side of the letting go is like a new birth, awakening us to the truth evermore of who we are as divine in nature and spiritual beings in expression. And I pass to Reverend Rodney.
Oh, and I just wonderfully step into the field of love and the divine word that has been created. And just knowing that, yes, not only I am, but each one listening is immersed as well in this truth, in this love, in this expression of givingness, of giving from the place of right knowing that, yes, each one has a choice. We have choices. Oh, and each one gets to choose what and when to release and let go. And I am knowing that moving forward this week into the new year, the calendar new year, that each one says, yes, I choose to make a choice. I choose to release that which is now negative in my life, no matter how long it may have seemed positive. I know that each one says yes to the greater yet to be, yes to shedding the old skin, releasing the old baggage fearlessly, even if there is fear, doing it anyway, knowing that there is something better. It is called trust, it is called faith, it is called a belief in that which already knows, that GPS, that God positioning system that never makes a mistake, that is always on point, that allows each and every one to follow that divine guidance from within, the the intuition and the instinct. So I give thanks for knowing that, yes, there is divine opportunity that we get to do. Is a divine opportunity to do great and better for ourselves. And I allow this word to reverberate in our consciousness, to reverberate outwardly so that others can catch a glimpse of the good that's ever available. And how wonderful it is to be with each and every one for this whole year. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Reverend Peggy. Thank you, Leda. Thank you all from One Love Center, Spiritual Living. knowing that, yes, the best is always yet to come. So stick with us as we move into the new year, open at the top, and knowing that it is coming from a place of what if, from the unlimited possibilities into that greater now to be. For this and so much more, I give thanks, release my word, ooh, to the universe that says, ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Your wish is my command. However it works, let it be, and simply affirm it by saying, and so it is, and now it is.
And now it is.
Thank you. I hope a wonderful song to follow up, and then we'll be back to say so long until next year.
All right.
Shine, shine, oh yeah, shine, shine. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. See the star now in thee. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. Holy One that come from peace. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me.
Oh, come to tell us we are free.
There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. But the now won't let it be. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. Oh, shine, 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 shine.
Many knew before your feet.
There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. They were blind, but now they see. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. Oh, Holy Spirit, victory. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. Find we now, my majesty. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. Shine. 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 Shines in me. There's a light in me. Oh yeah. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. There's a light that shines in me. Come on, there's a light in me. 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 Oh, yeah.
Blessings. Happy New Year.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for those who are watching. And please remember, share this. Let somebody know that there is possibilities for them that they may not be aware of.
Bless you all.
All right. Bless you all.
All right.
Bye-bye.
So,
Bye-bye.
all right. Happy New You in the new year.